And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to the first official G2A podcast, episode number 1. Whoa, this is Random Thundy. Marion, what's up, guys? Thomas, hello. Yeah, welcome everybody to the G2A Podcast Experience, episode number 1. As you can see, I am joined with my friend, co-worker, special guest, Steve Jones. What's up, Steve? Oh, wait, you're muted. You're muted, Steve. You're muted.
Oh, no.
There you go.
That's not a good start.
That was a great intro.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to be doing this podcast with you, and yeah, let's kill it. Let's get going.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So yeah, guys. So if you're just tuning in, yeah, very professional, right? Where it is a very professional. If you guys are just tuning in, what up, El Potato? Hello. So just some general information, guys. We're going to be doing this every Friday from 10 a.m. until 11. Let's see how it goes. Maybe a little longer. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, we're going to be talking about just a bunch of topics, gaming related, non-gaming related. Podcasts are all about getting to know people, right? Podcasts are all about getting to know people, and that's what you guys are going to do. You guys are going to get to know who is Mikey Shines, who is Steve Jones, who is everyone, right? So, on that note, Steve, the question of the day, are you still bald?
That is why I'm wearing a hat. Nobody can see. So, yes, if I take off my hat slightly, there you go. There is no hair there.
I see.
It's this new sexy look I'm going for that the women seem to be craving at the moment. So
Right. I hope your wife's not watching this podcast.
She's not. So
Okay. Is she in the other room?
No, she's outside in the cold in -9 degrees. So
good. Okay. All right.
That's not me, by the way, just kicking her out. I didn't say just go leave the house and doing a podcast. She wanted to go out, so.
Oh, okay. She's like, oh God, she's gonna do a podcast again. I can't take it. Steve, what's up, man? Like, I don't know. I guess what my first question to you would be like, what is a daily life? Because you're in a pretty interesting situation, as I am, right? I'm Polish. We're both living in Poland, but you are not Polish, and you're living in Poland for good. You're not going anywhere. What happened? How'd you get here? Where did you come from? Where did you go? How did you get here, Cotton Eye Joe? What's up, Steve?
Nice question to start off with. Basically. You probably can pick up from the accent that this beautiful voice is from the UK, which is the land of the better speaking English, not like America, not like Australia. Yeah, I'm giving out shade straight away. I'm from the UK, and I moved to Spain when I was 16, 17, and I was there for about 12 years. And then I met this Polish woman in Spain, and she was like, why not go to Poland with me? And I thought, well, I've never been there before. Let's go see what Poland has to offer. And after, I think, 4 years I've been in Poland now, it's a permanent thing. We got married. We had 2 wonderful children. And yeah, that's the story of why I'm in Poland.
Interesting. So there was 2 non-Spanish people in Spain that met each other, and one of them was Polish, your wife, and she brought you back to the motherland.
Yeah, you could say it like that.
Yeah. Well, what was she doing in Spain? Your wife?
She was having a holiday for 2 weeks with her family. we were chatting before this, and we thought, let's meet up. And we met up in a place called Aguilas, which is on the coast next to Almeria.
Adidas? Like the shoe?
Aguilas.
Aguilas. Okay. Okay.
And we just sort of like we got to know each other, and one thing led to another, and yeah, the boys now in Poland.
That's awesome. What were
Since you asked me like how I'm here, you can tell us how you're here, because I'm pretty sure you have just as good of a story as me.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, I have. I mean, the way here. Well, I mean, where do I start? Jeez. Well, mine was a little bit more complicated than that, I guess you could say. I've been going to Poland all my life. When I was a kid, I was born in Poland, right? But then my parents, they won a green card and stuff back in the communism days in Poland, right? And yeah, and then, as I was growing up in Chicago and stuff, sorry if you guys can hear my girlfriend in the background. She's also working from home, so big apologies, everyone, if you can hear her very loudly, because she likes to talk a lot. But yeah, my apologies about that. So
you can't kick her out.
No, I cannot, unfortunately. But yeah, so over the course of my adolescent life, I was always visiting Poland and stuff. So I was always visiting Poland. I was visiting family. I was visiting, my grandparents and stuff like that. And then, when I was more of an adult, I was like 21, maybe like 22. I sort of came here for like a longer period of time, like 6 months instead of like a month. And then I met her, the one that's talking right now. You're also from Chicago, Thandi? Nice, man, nice. Want some lose? No, I don't need. That's a restaurant, but nah, I haven't had that. But yeah, so
yeah. That you refer to as her in the background.
Yeah, my girlfriend, wifey. Yes. Yeah, and then I met her and my now girlfriend, wifey. We're not really married, right? But we're planning on it, right? And then we had a child, and then I stayed, and then I got a job at G2A. So then, yeah, long story short, came here on vacation, stayed forever. Right? So
there's kind of like two parts to this. First, it was your partner, and then it was G2A. They're kind of the two variables why you decided to stay here.
Yeah. Steve, why don't you tell us about how you even got the job at G2A? How did you even hear about G2A?
As a gamer, obviously knew about G2A in the past. I used them to buy some keys for Xbox Live, big Xbox guy here, so yeah, Team Green. I knew about G2A in the past for quite some time, but I didn't actually know where they were placed. I mean, I came to Rzeszów and thought just it's just a small city with like small type of organization, small companies around. And one day, a friend that I was getting to know quite well in the city, I found out she was part of G2A. And I asked her, what's the experience like? Oh, it must be amazing. And she kind of like told me what it was like. And then I saw on LinkedIn, I saw on some other websites that they were hiring for a position as a community specialist. I was not gonna lie, I was kind of worried about applying because G2A is like a very, very big company. I didn't really know if I could actually, match the skills that they required. But I kind of went balls deep. I kind of applied, and that's kind of how I got here. thanks to like a few people. Yeah, that's why I'm here right now. And I'm like so like happy to be here. The amount of stuff that I've done in such a like what 14, 15 months, it's just been incredible. I mean, doing streams with you, Mike, doing some interviews with some professional journalists and stuff, and just speaking to some high gaming profiles on the internet. It's just been one crazy last 16 months. So really, really happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I was sort of under the impression when I got hired, I didn't think I was going to get the job. Like, why the hell would they want to hire me? Look at me, And my cousin, when I was like visiting and stuff, she was like, "Hey, you're a gamer. We have a gaming company in our city. Maybe you should try to apply for a job." Because I was here for like 6 months, and I was getting really bored. I was like, yeah, like when you go and visit family in like a different country, then you visit family and it's fun for like maybe a week or two because they take you places and pay for food and stuff. But then you start to become a burden, like then you're just like, they're just like, hey, maybe you should start getting like doing something. Stop being lazy. and yeah, so that's what I did. I went job searching, and that was the first time that I've ever looked for a job in a different country. The first place that I actually applied to before G2A was a gas station, and yeah, it was a Shell gas station. And at that time, I wasn't really comfortable speaking Polish at like a native level. I still can't speak it at a native level because I don't know a certain like words and stuff, like how to say certain phrases, I guess. But and my aunt came with me to the interview, and she was like, "Yeah, he's from America. He doesn't really know much, but he's looking for a job." And they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll call you." Yeah, you know what that means when they say they'll call you, right?
They're definitely not going to call you.
They never call you back. So yeah, they never called me back. And then my cousin was like, "Dude, just apply at G2A.com." And I was like, "What is G2A.com?" And I did. And then I didn't even know what a CV was. I knew that it was like a resume, because in America, they do it a little bit differently. A CV is what does it stand for? Curricula vitae or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like, I don't know, but you know what I mean, right? And so yeah, and then my cousin, she like helped me fill out the CV thing, and I sent it to the company. And then like literally like 2 days later, I got a call from G2A. And they're like, "Hey, we would like to have you in for an interview." And I was like, "What? Okay, I'll come." So my cousin drove me to the office, and she dropped me off at the office. And then I went in for the interview. And my first impressions of the office were like, wow, this place is awesome. Like they had like gaming, like just everything gaming, right? It was great. They had like statues and figurines and things on the wall, and like all the workers on the wall, like everyone's like portrait and stuff, which was, if you think about it now, it's a little bit cringy, but like... Hey, it's cool. Yeah, so I was really impressed with like the building and stuff. Then when I actually got into the interview, there was like the general manager that was working at the time. I'm not going to say his name, but he asked me like some really weird questions. Did you get any weird questions asked to you when you were getting interviewed? Like,
honestly, no. I mean, kind of, but the most interesting in my interview was the fact that the people that were conducting the interview switched to Polish, thinking that I wouldn't be able to like understand so much, and they were talking about Żurek for about 5 minutes. Żurek is like a soup. I was like, why are they talking about Żurek? in an interview, when I'm sat here doing a task they gave me, I'm like, what is going on right now? It was surreal.
Yeah, there's special days in the company where there was like soup day, there was like, I don't know, pizza day. Pizza day was sort of before your time, I think.
Still burger days.
Yeah, burger days and stuff. Yeah. Burger days were lit. Oh my God, burger days were so good. Everyone literally stopped what they were doing and they just burnt hamburgers. Just the line was ridiculous. But that's a little bit off topic. Yeah. So I was asked like these weird questions, and now I understand why they were asked to me. But at the time, I was like, dude, this is so weird. This is like the weirdest interview I've ever had in my life. And they were like asking me like, I don't know, things that seemed to me at the time that weren't even relevant to the job that I was applying for. And I was like, I don't get it. But then I understood, right?
Can you give an example of the type of question?
Yeah, like I remember the question that the one of the questions they asked me was, what would I do to find out who invented the piano in Portugal?
What?
Just like some completely obscure like thing. And the reason why this is my hypothesis, right? The reason why I think they asked that question is because they wanted to see how I would react to a different situation, because at the time I was applying to work at support, right? And when you're working support, you have to know how to react to certain situations. Maybe you might have not seen a case that you've never seen before, right? And then you have to know what steps to take. So I was just like, well, I don't know, I would like, check Google, ask someone, like just the first things that came to my head, I would like, that was my response, right? So yeah, that went well, right? And then after I finished that interview, I left and I was like, God, that was terrible. I was like, they're never gonna hire me. Why? They're never gonna hire me. And then I left the interview and I was like, you know what? This is pointless. I don't know what was I even thinking? Like, why would they hire me? And I left the interview and I came back. My cousin picked me up and I was like, I'm not gonna get hired. There's no way. And then like I waited 2 weeks. I was still in Poland. 2 weeks later, boom, I got a call. We want to give you a job at G2A. And I was like, what? Why? Why do you want? Why do you want to give me a job? Take it back. No, I'm just kidding. But and then I was like super excited and confused, really, because the reason why is because I don't know about you, Steve, but it's like since the moment I turned 18, growing up in the States, I've had different jobs, like a lot of different jobs. I've had physical labor jobs. I've had I've had jobs where I was a delivery guy. I worked at Jimmy John's. I don't know if you guys know what Jimmy John's is. It's like a sandwich place. I worked in a warehouse. I built like small engines, dude. Like I worked at shoe stores. I did everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I did a lot of things. I at one point I was working at a factory that produced McDonald's cups.
Wow.
Just like super things that I would just do things that would get me by, right? And I never had an office job. Never ever had an. Always was either physical labor or working in a store. So now, fast forwarding, I got this job at G2A. I'm working in support, and I was super happy, right? I was like, wow, this is something like, anyone that has ever worked at a customer support related job knows what I'm talking about. It could be a very challenging job, emotionally, right? Like mentally, because customers can be, for lack of a better term, crude sometimes, right? But I was happy nonetheless. And now the interesting part was that I worked at support for a month. I worked there for a month, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I want to go back to America. You know, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I liked my job, but then I was like, I don't know. Should I? Maybe I should go back. I don't know. I was really on the fence. I was really, really on the fence. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I worked at support for a month, and then I took my manager. I told my manager, I was like, hey, you know, I want to go back to Chicago, and hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I told my manager that I wanted to go back to Chicago. So he was like, you know what? It's fine. If you want to go back to Chicago, and if you ever want to come back, let us know. We'll have a job for you. And I was like, great. That's actually a really good thing, right? To have options, right? So I was like, okay. So I went back to Chicago. I left the company. I went back to Chicago. I was in Chicago for like 5 months. And when I went back, I had a shitty warehouse job. So bad, dude. I hated it there. I was sorting clothes at this warehouse. You know, I was sweaty. I worked there. I was there for training. I didn't even make it through training. I was like, this is the worst job I've ever had, hands down. And then I realized what I've done. I had a really awesome job in Poland. I met a girl at the time who I'm now living with. Hi. And yeah, and I was like, it's so much better there than it is in Chicago. So why the hell would I want to stay here? Right? So then I called back, you know, I like another month or two went by, and then I had they sent me via email like a certificate that I worked at the company, like sort of like a diploma, right? And then at that time, I was like, you know, since I'm already in contact with this person from the company, I was like, hey, can you give me so and so's number? My manager at the time. I want to ask him if I can come back to work for you guys. I called him, and then I called him, you know, because there was a huge time difference. You know, it's like 7 or 8 hours. I called him when it was like a good time in Poland, and I asked him. I was like, hey, you know, it's Mike, big dude from Chicago. I don't know if you remember me. I worked with you guys for like a month. Can I come back? And he was like, yeah, man, I'm waiting for you. Let me know when you're back. Let's go. And I was like, what? You know, because I needed to have that, that like security that I knew that I'm going to have a job when I get there. Because I can't go there to a different country and not work and not make any money, right? Because that would be bad. So yeah, and then the rest is history, man. And now 4 years later, still working at G2A. Boom, podcast. Mikey Shine, Steve. Here we are. Boom.
The thing, I don't know if you can agree with when you kind of leave the country that you were born in and you were raised in, you kind of miss so much about it that you didn't even think that you would. So like when I came to Poland, there were so many different like things that I found that I just didn't like. For example, like the Polish people. It took some time for me to kind of like get used to their mentality, the way they thought, like the way they behaved, and still to this day, like I don't know if you know much about British people, but we're very kind of polite. We kind of like we actually use queues in shops, whereas like Polish people don't actually know what a queue is. They just kind of like pile in like a Royal Rumble, and it's just like a free fall for the first person, and then you know what the hell? Let's just fight. It's like stuff like this where I just still can't get used to. And another thing is food. Like Polish food It's like completely just bland. There's like no taste in Polish food for me.
Man, be careful, dude. Be careful what you say.
Like, I know that people are probably laughing right now. Like, British people aren't really known for their recipes, their dinners. But when you eat like some Polish food, like a pierogi, you're basically eating what I like to think is like warm fat from your hand. So if you suck your hand, that's basically what a pierogi tastes like to me. It's just there's nothing in it. And this is not the only type of food that Polish people eat. I mean, there's like what else? Important kaszka, which is like groats in English, is like hugely popular. It's literally nothing. It's like something like wet stones. If I went outside, put a bucket of water on some stones and put it in my mouth, that's kaszka for me. It's literally nothing. It tastes horrible. The Polish food is just ridiculously stupid. Like, I'm sorry, Mike. It's just like there's nothing in it. And when I go to like a shop, you have like Polish sausages, which are not actually sausages. They're just like meat found from wherever and just put into like a cylinder shape. It's not sausage. It's just I don't know what it is. Like everything in the shop that I look for, like British bread for sandwiches, you don't have this. Even if you do, it's called toast, and it's like so much smaller, and you can't really do anything with it because it's gone in a bite. So the first two things that took me a while to try and like understand and get used to was Polish food, Polish people, and the third one, which was probably the harshest, was the weather. So when I came from Spain, it was like plus 42 degrees in the summer, and I left in about September, and I basically arrived for autumn and winter that year. And that winter, it was minus 27 in Rzeszów. So going from plus 42 to minus 27 is a real shock. I was going outside with like 2 jackets, 4 hats, and I felt like I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. It was just so difficult to do anything. Not because of the amount of clothes, it's just because it's so cold and I was too scared to take any clothes off in case I literally froze to death. So like, and now if you look outside like the window in Poland, it's literally white. It's been white for the last like 5, 6, 7 days, and it's continually snowing. And it's like it's like a combination of like really shit snow, like it kind of like comes down, but like it doesn't do anything, but it kind of makes everything wet. Or it's like the really thick snow, which just kind of like plasters everything and everything is frozen. There's like these two different combinations of snow. And the weather is something I can't get used to. I just much prefer rain than so much snow, to be honest. So I don't know how you adapted when you first, like started living in Poland, and like, adapting to their food, adapting to their weather. But for me, it was like pretty difficult. Not gonna lie.
Well, Steve, I am Polish, so all my life I was being fed Polish food, so I'm like I'm used to it.
I'm so sorry for you.
Well, you know what? You shouldn't be, because in my opinion, if Polish food is prepared correctly and seasoned, and you got your salt, you got your pepper, you got your whatever, then it's tasty. I don't know. Maybe you just have the taste buds of a child, but but there is some Polish food that is decent. Okay, I don't know. In my house, like when we cook, sometimes we cook Polish food, sometimes we cook Italian food, sometimes we cook spaghetti. Like today on the menu is spaghetti, right? So I guess I don't know. I guess when it comes to your question, like it took me some time to get used to the mentality that people have in Poland, right? Because living in the States, people sort of, I don't know. I don't want to say like, I would say that they're more open, right? They're more or less like, open to like new ideas and stuff like that. But Polish people are very traditional. I don't know if you've noticed that they're very traditional, and sometimes change is something that people are not interested in, and that's something that I was. It took a while for me to get used to, for sure. It also took a while for me to get used to like shopping. Like shopping when, like, in America everything is big, right? Everything, big stores, big cars, big streets, big people, everything. And here, and like in generally, not only in Poland but in just like in Europe in general, everything is like twice. It's like smaller, right? Maybe I'm just speaking from a perspective because I'm a big dude. Like the cars are smaller, right? I remember like when I first got into like my first or second taxi cab, I was like barely fitting, and I was like, But yeah. I mean, there was definitely some adjusting to do, coming from America to Poland and like basically starting your life over. That's what happened to me, at least. I just smashed the reset button, and I basically started a new life, right? I don't know about you. Do you visit the big GB every now and again, or?
The last time I went back to the big GB was 2019 during the Christmas period. I
Before
don't really
COVID?
before COVID.
Uh,
I would like to go back sometimes just to see how the country is, but there's no place in the UK I can call home anymore. So I don't really have any like family or relatives in the UK that I can go visit. So there's not this real like, apart from friends, there's not this real urgency to want to go back and see things. My wife very often talks that in the future we should think about maybe going to the UK, maybe to America even, um, just so that the kids are brought up in an English-speaking country. They can be raised with like a better mentality of people here. I'm sorry to say again, if there are any Polish people watching, this is my wife saying this, not me. Don't shoot the messenger. She kind of wants to leave just for a better life for the children. So we'll have to see what the future holds. But at this moment, I'm not really going back much to the UK.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's like another thing that's sort of hanging over people like us that basically just started to a life in a different country. Going back to visit, right? Like I still have my parents, like my mom and my dad is in Chicago still. And, I was supposed to come visit them last year, like in 2020, but then COVID happened, and yeah, it wasn't possible, or it was very difficult. I don't know. We're planning on maybe like having it happen this year. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the situation goes, right? So, yeah, I mean, overall, like, are you happy that you're here? Like, I mean, are you like used to it? Like, are you just generally speaking, are you happy?
Uh, it's a good question, actually. There's a few things that I'm very, very happy with. Like, for example, like if I didn't move to Poland, I wouldn't be in G2A. I wouldn't be doing, something in an industry which I've been, brought up to have this hobby with, and like talking about gaming and games each and every day as a work is something you, as a child, you kind of like you really want, and you think that's never going to happen because it's a game. There's nothing in it. But to be here and be fortunate enough to be accepted by G2A, it's like something I'm very, very proud of, very, very happy about. That's one of the reasons why I think for me staying in Poland right now is something great. I can learn a lot of new skills, a lot of new like basically things. Like for example, like before I came to G2A, I hadn't really streamed much. I was basically like a boomer when it came to technology. If you're talking about streaming, and you of all people have kind of like taught me a lot about streaming, which I would never have picked up. So in terms of work, yes, I'm very happy to be here. I just kind of wish that the people around would see what's happening and kind of like maybe have adapted by now, because that's like the downside of living in Poland is the people. Unfortunately, it's very like a backwards thinking place when you're coming from like places like the UK, like the US, where like more fast, they're more like technology based. It's not like that here. So I would say that I'm happy in some aspects and not so happy. I don't know how you feel. Are you happy, or in the future, do you want to go back to the States?
Right now, I don't have any plans to go back to the States, only to visit, right? Like this is my home now. But what about I'm gonna ask you this. What if you didn't work at G2A? Well, how do you think would you live in Poland? Where would you go? Would you think you would move to like a different country? Like what do you think?
I think before Brexit happened, there was this thing in my mind that I'd want to go back to Spain, mainly because it's a much, much better place to live, to bring up children. The people, I feel, are nicer. It's just a more relaxed country. But unfortunately, because Brexit happened, it's kind of really stopped any chances of me going to a different country for now, because obviously my passport won't be valid in these countries. I would need to find like a job in order to have a work permit, and that might not be permanent. So there's a lot of like variables in place that would stop me going somewhere. So the only place I would probably go is the UK, but at the same time, like I said, I've got nowhere I can call home in the UK. I wouldn't know where to start, where to live, what to do with work. I don't know how much has changed in the last 40 years since I've been away. I'd have to like kind of learn and adapt again. So if there was no G2A, I would probably stay. I'd probably stay in Poland. But if Brexit never happened, I think in a year I would probably be gone to Spain and just make sure that my children are brought up in a place where it's like safer, easier, and they feel more comfortable.
Dude, if you went back to Spain, your children would start speaking Spanish and they would start talking shit behind you, Rack. How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't mind because they will pick up Spanish and they'll have English. So like kind of like two of the most spoken languages. I will just have to put him in a cupboard if he decides to, speak shit. But other than that, it'll be all good, really.
For sure. Yeah, Spain seems like a cool country to live in, or at least try to live in. What part of Spain were you in before? Were you like near? I don't know, Spain near an ocean? I don't know. I'll have to see a map.
This just like kind of proves the stereotype that Americans are.
Yeah, I'm not good with geography. I know where Poland is, but I know where Poland and America and Canada is, and and Mexico. Yeah.
It is next to an ocean. It's like pretty much around the ocean. I was in the kind of like the south, not so south, but in a place called Granada. It's actually it's one of the highest points in Spain. Got a lot of ski resorts and stuff there. Oh, there you go. You got the map opened up. It's in the winters. It's kind of, I say, it gets cold. The temperatures could get like, yeah. Because
I just muted myself. I just muted myself on the stream. I said that it's surrounded by the ocean.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
Okay, and you were in which part?
Granada. I don't know if you can see it on the map.
Andorra,
Should be
Barcelona.
near the south. It should be.
Oh, I thought this said Murcia, but it's Murcia. I thought it was Murcia. Okay.
I was very close to living from Murcia, which is 2 hours away from.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wasn't far away from there.
Okay, cool.
The winters kind of get cold, -2, -3, -4, and the summers can get to like -45, -46. So it's a nice place to live. It's very relaxed. Lots of like farms, villages, this type of area. So it's quite nice. It's a good place for like retirement.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was I totally lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was going to say, really. But okay, so since I forgot what I was going to say, you wrote an article on Medium.com, and it was about how games made you a socially capable person. I'm going to bring it up on screen here really quick. If you guys want to check it out, you want to take a read, feel free to do it. I'll throw a link in the chat.
I really like that picture.
Tell me about it. What was happening? What was this picture? Are these your siblings, your cousins?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
All my brothers. So the oldest one you can see in the middle is my oldest brother, Paul. The boy on the very left is Mark. The boy on the very right is Darren. I am in between the two oldest ones in the red shirt looking down.
This is you? Right here?
No,
this one?
On the left.
Oh, this right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my younger brother Scott is the one at the very bottom. And that was for Christmas. You can see in the Christmas lights in the background.
Yeah.
And we got together and they took a picture of all of us, and that's one of the only pictures that I have of all of us together. So
the only picture.
Huh?
It's the only picture of you and all your brothers all at the same time?
Yeah, that's the only one I have. Maybe my dad has more, but that's the only one I have. Yeah.
So
I can't remember how old I was, but as you can see, I was pretty young. Maybe I was about 6, 7 here, maybe. So that's probably 1995, 1996, maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this article. Like I read it when you released it. I didn't read this. Parents are shocked to this day. I'm not. It's interesting.
It's kind of to show that, like, when I was brought up, when people say that they were playing games, it was kind of seen as like a negative thing. Like, gaming's not going to take you anywhere in life. It's kind of like, you're wasting your time. What's the point of them? Do something creative, or read a book, do something like this, but avoid games. So that's kind of why that sentence is there. It's to kind of show that no, gaming can actually help and can actually teach children. It can, it can teach you or kind of develop skills you didn't think you had, like leadership, like support, teamwork, stuff that you just might not have picked up when, for example, outside with your friends. But when you're like playing WoW with a guild of like 40 people, there's a chance where you need to, like, for example, you need to take leadership, you need to, time something perfectly to show teamwork. So yeah, games can be like a really a good tool to pick up so many cool like skills, and like languages, for example, is fantastic. I'm very much a person that's like I see like the positives of gaming in so many different ways. And that's kind of what this article is more like, the stuff I picked up from gaming.
No, as I was scrolling, there we go. I saw this is a picture of your son, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Is gaming something that you're trying to like implement into your child's lives, or maybe just to, maybe not like, I'm not saying like force them to do it, but just give them the option to like, hey, maybe you can try this. And the reason why I'm asking that is because yesterday, for the first time, I was playing Banjo-Kazooie with my daughter. You remember Banjo-Kazooie?
Yeah. I used to have that from the
I was, I have the Xbox sitting behind me, and I was like, you know what? I haven't fired this thing up in a long time, and I might as well just try it. And I was looking at the Game Pass, and I saw Banjo-Kazooie. I was like, oh, I never played this. And like, and me and my daughter were just like sitting there playing it. We were having a blast. Like, we were having such a good time, and she doesn't, her coordination is not that good yet. So I was using the joystick and I was telling her when to jump, like, as Kazooie. I think the bear's name is Kazooie. No, or
Banjo.
it's Banjo. Yeah. And I was telling her when to jump with Banjo, and she was, and like, green is to jump, A, and then X was to attack. And I was telling her, like, jump and attack and jump. And she was just having such a good time. She was like screaming. And now today she was like, Dad, can we play the bear game? And and I was like, yeah, after Dad's done working, right? So I think I think gaming could be a good tool for children to like maybe just like develop maybe normal motor functions, like maybe like thinking logically, because sometimes you have to like solve a puzzle or jump on a platform, and or do something like that, where by normal means you don't have to think about those types of things only when you're playing games, right? So is that something that like maybe you're trying to like show your kids?
At the moment, my oldest son is 2.5, so he hasn't got this interest of trying to control anything himself. He isn't able to do anything like this. But since you asked this, my wife said, I think two weeks ago, that she would never imagine when she was little having children that would be into both football and computer games. And she said this because, first of all, I watch a lot of football, and my son sometimes says, "Oh, I like football. Let's watch football." And my wife's like, "What's happening here? I'm not sure I like this." And sometimes I have some streams on the big TV where I'm, for example, watching some League of Legends, and my son's like sitting there, and he sees like all these colors, all these actions, and he's just sitting there, and he's like so deep in like thinking, okay, what's happening here, that sometimes my wife walks in and is like, what is going on here? I did not expect him like to be playing games. So at the moment, he's a bit too young, but in the future, I'm gonna give him the Xbox One, and I'm gonna give him obviously Game Pass, and he can feel free to play games if he wants. Obviously, he's not going to spend all day playing games because that's obviously not going to be good for him. But I have no problems with him picking up, a controller, picking up, Banjo-Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot, for example, a game I used to play, Spyro, Minecraft, Roblox in some situations. So yeah, in the future, I am all for him playing games. My wife, on the other hand, may probably ask me a lot of questions like why, but that's a conversation for a different day.
That's really awesome. So basically, your son is turning into a bro, right? He's got the stream, he's got the football already, the football interest, right? He's turning into a bro, man. But that's
I'm trying to get him out of watching so much Cocomelon because
oh yeah,
too much Cocomelon on TV for my liking.
How old is your oldest son? Because you have your oldest is 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
My youngest is going to be one in 21 days. So yeah.
He's gonna be 1 in 21 days.
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, kid. So if you're watching this in the future, maybe your son will see this maybe 20 years from now. You never know.
That's very true. I've got to be very careful what I say about my children right now.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's really cool. I mean, I like, it's really interesting to see how the younger generation. I mean, we are young, right? How old are you? I mean, I don't know. What are you? 30, 50? I mean, how old are you?
32.
32. We're still pretty young. I mean, I think we're borderline boomers, to be honest. I'm not even 29 yet. Well, I am 29. What am I talking about? Yeah, I'm going to say I'm not even 30 yet. It's because I'm saying this because, like, the other generation, the younger generation, younger than us, I'm talking about like kids that were born in the 2000s. Okay, like, can you imagine that there's kids that were born in like 2000, 2001 that are like 18 now? Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it makes it, like I'm saying, like, we're borderline boomer, right? But
also, this generation is brought up, like, if you gave them like a Game Boy Color, they're gonna be like using like a phone. Like, what?
Yeah.
Working this pipe in?
Yeah, I forgot where I heard this from, but one of my friends, she also has like a son, like a 9-year-old son. I think he's 8 or 9, and he went to grandma's house one day, and he took a picture, like in a picture frame, and I think he was even younger than 8 or 9. He took a picture in a picture frame, and then he started swiping on it, and he was like, "Grandma, your tablet doesn't work," right? So it just goes to show, like, you know, technology, I don't know, video games, this is something that we can't like avoid, right? Like, it's like something that's so integrated into our society at this point that, you know, just because your kid is learning how to use a tablet or doesn't, or swipes right on a freaking picture frame because he thinks it's going to move, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the way that our lives are, right? It's just, you know, and I think it's only going to go up from here, right? Obviously, things in moderation, right? Like, you're not just going to let your kid sit on a tablet for like 8 hours a day. That might fry their brain, to be honest. You know, like, that's not healthy for anyone, really, especially like a child. But it's something, I think, that is a blessing and a curse at the same time. You know, I don't know. Have you ever I guess it's more about social media, but have you ever seen on Netflix the movie about the documentary about social media? It's called not what it's called. The Social Network or something, but like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know about it.
You haven't seen it? You should really watch it. You should really watch it. It's good. It's good. It opens your eyes to a lot of things. I also think that it talks about a lot of things that people already knew about when it comes to like social media and stuff, but not necessarily. They didn't want to like maybe believe in it, right? But yeah, I wanted to go back a little bit to that kid that was swiping on the picture frame. We were at a birthday party like on Saturday, and he told me he wanted to become a YouTuber when he grows up. He's 9 years old, right? And when I told him, I was like, "Hey, this is something that I do, right? I'm sort of a YouTuber streamer," and he was like so infatuated, right? He wanted to know, like, he was talking to me about Minecraft, you know, because I think most like 7 to 9 year olds, they play Minecraft, right? Yeah, he was just talking to me about Minecraft, and he was like, "Oh my God, can you tell me how to record my screen on my computer so I can upload gameplay to YouTube?" And I was like, "Bro, I got you. download OBS. He doesn't even know what he doesn't know. He's 9 years old. He doesn't know anything about OBS or anything. So I explained everything to him. I even got on a call with him over Messenger to like explain to him step by step what he needs to do in order to like start recording his gameplay. And now it just like, I think it's a good thing, but like I said, everything in moderation, right? Like things can sort of, people, technology can get addicting. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Technology is addicting. Like social media is addicting. Video games can also be addicting. And I think it's like up to us to show the way. So like our kids and the generation before us and stuff like that, they can make educated and smart choices on what to do with games and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see how life is going to look like in 5 years. I think already, because like already we're living in like a different life because of COVID, right? Like things are not the way they were in 2019 as they are now in 2020, 2021. I mean, things are so much different, and some people don't even, and it's like we just accepted it because we don't have a choice, right? Thanks to technology, we can still stay connected, right? But at the same time, it's like a connection but a disconnection, right? Because we're all doing these things from home. We're having this podcast, like my daughter's in the background and my girlfriend's working right from home. Everyone is in these types of situations, and I don't know. Do you think this is going to be the new norm for the rest of our lives, or maybe the next couple of years? What do you think?
I think it's going to be like this at least for another couple of years. It's going to be interesting to see how business are going to operate. Like, would they keep their offices open for everyone to work from home? I don't think so, because they'll probably lose money. And I know that, for example, in the last year, I've made a new schedule around how I live my life. So, I kind of wake up, I spend some time with the children, I make them breakfast, and then I go to work, which means I come downstairs and I put on the computer. And then, for example, I can have lunch with them at, like, for example, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And then after work, I'm home already. So I can, for example, take them outside for a walk, play with them. Everything is like in a perfect schedule. It's not like traveling to work, coming back from work. This is like comfortable life I'm living at the moment. And I think a lot of people are in this kind of comfort zone. I don't think a lot of people want to go back to the office. So it's going to be interesting in the next few years how business are going to operate. If it's all going to be like remote work, or are they going to force people to go back to the office? I don't know. But if they do force people back, I think there's going to be a lot of unhappy employees, which may like consider looking for other jobs that they can do from home, because this is what they're going to be more comfortable with. It's going to be very interesting to see, but I don't think it's going to change for at least another year, maybe two. We have no idea about the vaccinations, how long we're going to be like, how long this vaccination is going to last. Is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be a year? How many times we need to be vaccinated? There's so many like questions that need to be answered. So until then, yeah, I just think that this is going to be the new norm, and we should just like get used to it. One thing I want to say though is you were talking about generations, and when I was growing up, the consoles like the Mega Drive, the Game Boy were out. Now, if you look at revenue, gaming has surpassed sports and movies industry in terms of revenue. So if it's like this now, what's it going to be like in the future? The children are going to be basically like brought up where games are going to be on TV. They're going to be accessible everywhere to watch. The professional scenes could be bigger. Maybe gaming in the Olympics. It's gonna, if it keeps going as it is, it's going to be huge. And like the money at the moment being put into the industry is something huge. So when, for example, when I have grandchildren, I would love to see what gaming is at that stage, just how big it is. I can't see it like dying down anytime soon, especially with the situation that we're in. So um, times have changed a lot in the last 20 years, and they're going to change a lot when it comes to gaming. And I'm really excited to see like what technology can bring in terms of gaming.
Yeah, it's really crazy to think about how there's that kid from Fortnite. He won $10 million from a competition.
He's set for life.
It doesn't even make any sense, right? He's like not even an adult, and he won like I think a couple of millions. I think here, let me look it up really quick, see if I can find it.
Imagine his parents like at the beginning probably telling him like, you're not going to get anything from Fortnite, just like focus on studies and stuff. And then somehow, or he wins this tournament, he brings this money back, and the parents are like, okay, whoa, this is a shock, I didn't expect this.
I mean, look at this. Continue. Oh my God. Oh, ad block. Hold on. Ad block is telling me to turn it off, or this website is. But yeah, look at this. U.S. teen wins $3 million at a video game tournament, Fortnite World Cup. When was this? Last year. This was before COVID, 2019, in July. So he's still not even an adult. Like, what does a 16-year-old kid do with $3 million? Steve, imagine if you were 16 and you won $3 million. What is the first thing that you do?
A gaming PC with like 5 screens, LED lights coming out everywhere. Just that's the only thing my mind goes to straight away. Just building a beast of a computer, having a massive man cave with like pool tables and stuff, and just living life so simple like this. What about you?
I think gaming PC is the right answer here. I mean, you could just build a supercomputer with that much money. You don't even. I think I think if I was 16 at the time, I wouldn't even think about investing that kind of money because I was dumb. Right? Like, no one is smart at 16. Like, yeah, there might be some smart 16-year-olds. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing all 16-year-olds, right? But for the most part, the general population at 16 doesn't know anything. Okay? It's something that it's so like far out that like I can't even comprehend it. Like, I wouldn't be able to comprehend how much money $3 million is at 16 years old. And this guy just won it from playing a video game. Right? I think if we even look back, let's say 5 years ago, even like maybe not 5, maybe like 7 to 10 years ago, you wouldn't even think about making a career out of either streaming or playing video games at tournaments. You wouldn't even think about it. And now, streaming, I think the people like, okay, I'll pull something up here. Let's do. We're gonna pull up Social Blade. We're gonna pull up Social Blade, and we're gonna put in Shroud. Okay, you know who Shroud is, right?
Yeah.
Who is Shroud? Who is Shroud, Steve? Just so people know.
He's a fantastic streamer to watch. He was on Twitch, then he went to Mixer. I assume he's back on Twitch now. Did he go back to Twitch?
Yeah, he went back to Twitch, and now let's just take a look at these numbers here. This is a streamer. This is Shroud. He is an A++ streamer. He's 3rd in followers rank on Twitch. And let's see his money that he makes, right? So he has around 9 million followers, okay? And around 250,000 views, okay? And here, I want to see how much money he's making. Usually it shows it here, but I can't seem to find it right now. But you could convert it just to the amount of views and the amount of followers that you see. You could definitely tell that this dude is making a ton of cash. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you remember. I think it was a year, maybe 2 years ago. Ninja did an interview with somebody. I can't remember who. And I asked him, Ninja, how much money do you get from just streaming? And he says in a month, he estimates around $500,000 a month just from streaming Ninja. So put that in perspective. That's just streaming. How much does he get in terms of like endorsements, advertisements, all this shebang? He's absolutely loaded if he's getting 500,000 a month just from streaming. So
I mean,
it can be like a huge money maker.
Ninja is an anomaly in the streaming world. He is a streaming superstar that, there's a good documentary about Ninja on YouTube, just basically explaining how he got to in the position that he is in right now. Obviously, he's not streaming. Ninja, is he streaming on Twitch? Because he went to Mixer.
Yeah.
Mixer died.
Yeah,
right?
he's actually streaming on Twitch every day, and he's playing Valorant as his main game now. Every night, he's on the
Okay.
Valorant grind. Yeah.
Okay, so he's back because Microsoft cut him a nice juicy couple $1 million deal on Mixer, and then they keeled over, right? So he had to go back. I think he was planning on YouTube streaming or something like that. But yeah, it's just, the thing about big streamers like that, like Ninja, Shroud, Dr. Disrespect, F in chat because he's banned. But but the thing about big streamers, I'm talking about streamers that have like 40K, 50, 60, 100,000 of viewers whenever they go live. I think when it comes to the younger generation about these streamers, and they look at these streamers and they're like, "Wow, this is amazing. This is something that I want to do when I want to blow up, right? I want to glow up. I want to blow up, right?" And it sort of gives people like a false sense of confidence, and that's a problem. People want to become the next big streamer, but the chances of you becoming the next big streamer are like 0.001%, and people work hard towards streaming. Some people stream 7 days a week, 5, 7, 10 hours a day, and they grind and they grind and they grind. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, their life is falling apart because they don't focus on anything else but streaming. They're trying to make it in big, right? They're trying to become the next Hollywood. And I'm not saying this for anyone to like get sort of what's the word I'm looking for, demotivated, because if it's something that you like to do, then you should continue on doing it. But if it's something that you're considering as a job and you sort of hate doing it, but you're forcing yourself to do it, you're gonna crash and burn really quick. So
I spoke to a few streamers, a few partners of ours, because I'm always interested, like how they became streamers, like what helped them, and they often say that you have to have this certain thing about you. If you have that like charisma, that attitude, you will make it. Maybe not like huge, like Dr. Disrespect, like Ninja, but you could use these skills of yours to actually make a living. And if you just tell yourself that, okay, I'm not going to have 67,000 people watching me a night like Nick Merckx. I just want 500 people watching. 500 people a night, if they donate, if they subscribe to you, you have a good life with just that. You don't need to have more than that. 200 even. It's like you have made it like to a point where you can be considered successful if you get 200 people watching you. It's impressive. So don't think of streaming as like, I want to be Tim the Tap Man with 50 million people. No, you probably won't get that. But just keep your head like to the ground and just like work hard. Everything will slowly go for you, and you just don't need so many people, 100 people, a night. And if you keep this constantly, it's great. So yeah.
What are your some because me and you are streamers. We're like small streamers, true. But what are some of your goals, man? What do you want to get out of this?
It's a good question. When I was streaming last night with Rustler, it's a night where I didn't really focus so much on what was going around me in terms of like viewers. I just wanted to be in the moment and have this moment where people can watch me and enjoy what they're watching. When you shared with me, the stats of last night, it got me like so. I had this like high, like I did something that I didn't think I would do in a long time. I had a good following, people were engaged. This is like the main thing for me. It's just to have like a small group of people who are dedicated, who want to be there to watch, to enjoy watching. That's all for me. I'm just happy that even if I have 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, it doesn't matter. I just want to make somebody's evening like enjoyable, just watching the stream, having some fun, relaxing, because that's what all it is. Gaming is like a hobby for people. They should just take the time after like a long day, just relax, and that's for me. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree. I think if you think about streaming anything more than just something that you can watch to entertain yourself on the other monitor while you're playing a game or doing something else, working, then as a streamer, if you think about anything more than that, then I think you might run into problems, right? But I personally think, I mean, I want the same thing as you. I want people to enjoy watching the stream. To interact and just to be part of the community. Like that's what my goal, right? I mean, my aspirations, of course, I would like to be very successful in streaming, but is it something that I'm gonna put in all of my time and energy and sacrifices into? Probably not. I'll try my best. But it is what it is, and it will be what it will be. We can only try. Steve, I think that's about all the time that we have for today.
One final question, if I can
Yeah,
just ask.
sure.
What are your expectations since it's BlizzCon today? It's a big day. What are you expecting?
Yes, today is BlizzCon, and I am a World of Warcraft freak. So, I'm expecting them. Well, the only game that interests me is, of course, World of Warcraft. So I'm expecting them to announce some things for patch 9.1, maybe some Diablo 4 updates. I hope some Diablo 4 updates. I think there's a lot of people that are hoping for that. And as for everything else, we'll see. They're going to stop supporting StarCraft 2 sooner or later. I think they announced that last year. So it's not something really that I would be personally interested. But yeah, mainly World of Warcraft and and see what the future is for the game. How about you?
I want to find out any information about Overwatch 2. They announced this in 2019, and it's been completely like no word about what's happening, how long it's going to take, any like gameplay clips. There's been absolutely nothing on it. 2 years on, I think it's a good time. Maybe they can share with us, okay, this is what we have planned. Check out this cool clip that we did. Just some general idea what to expect. Because at the moment, Overwatch fans, there's nothing about it. So I'm really hoping that there's going to be something about Overwatch 2. That's my main focus for BlizzCon.
Yeah, man, Blizzard has done a lot of promises. Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, WoW 5. There's a lot of things that we are waiting eagerly to see or to even get fed any more information on. I think the best part about BlizzCon is that it's for free and everyone can watch it. Everyone can watch it online, and it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be talking about. Today's Friday, so probably on Monday. Steve, thank you very, very much. Guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, we will be doing this once a week, every Friday, starting from 10 a.m. And And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed listening. If you guys have any types of feedback, let us know in the comments. Leave a comment, leave a like. Steve, do you have any parting words?
Just thank you for the people that tuned in, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that we can see you again next Friday.
Awesome. Guys, have a fantastic day. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you next week on Friday for episode 2 of the G2A Podcast Experience. Bye-bye, everyone.